It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margee McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margee McGee, and with me is my friend and fellow therapy and reality TV junkie.
Hi, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez. Margee, wonderful to see you, as always. Very excited to talk about this episode with you.
Yeah, we just started to touch on it before we started to record, and once again, I don't know if we're on the same page, and I love that about us.
I do too. With the exception of I want to admit right now and just be as honest as possible. I don't know if I'm able to see Kyle without 12 seasons of resentments coming with me and coloring her behavior. This season of all seasons, she should warrant my compassion. She should be allowed my compassion. She should be seen with a grain of salt or empathy, for Christ's sake.
Whatever.
And
Anyone who's on these shows
can't.
Yeah, but I think that's the nature of the beast. And
All
in
right.
truth, this was an episode, and I don't know if I'm just like on edge because it's the holidays or whatever, but I couldn't stand anybody. I was just like, oh, everybody fuck off and get over yourselves. I'm so sick of all of you.
Yeah.
So I had moments where I could tolerate them, but that's as deep as I could go this episode. I'm sick of everyone.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I'm sick of being lied to. I guess I realized that this is the moment in time when Kyle wasn't going to tell everyone that her marriage was crumbling and ending. So she's trying to sell the story that they're fine or they're working on it or whatever. And I'm just like, we all know, even if cameras hadn't picked up again to watch it fall apart, it's clear you guys are not doing well. So don't get mad at everyone else for noticing and talking about the whole thing is just
Totally.
Stop lying to me. Sutton, stop lying about your drinking. It's not a
Right.
rumor when we watch you pour a pint of vodka at 11 a.m. Just everyone stop pissing on me and calling it rain.
But she said some true stuff about what would happen if
She's
these
not
women
going to lose her
tarnish their.
But, oh my God, we'll get there. She is
Oh
not
my
going to lose her
God.
child. That's an empty threat. Also, she does not drink in a measured, normal way. So maybe it's best if her son is not in a household with an alcohol. You know what I mean? If it was just a rumor, it wouldn't have any impact at all. Her behavior on camera is indicative of someone with a drinking problem.
Oh my
So
God.
if her son gets taken away, sorry that you put yourself on reality TV and drank a pint of vodka at 11 a.m.
Shit.
I can't.
Oh.
The way that you can't feel sorry for Kyle, I can't feel sorry for Sutton. I'm just like, you have shown who you are. All you do is turn every conversation about you onto someone else in a really cruel way. I'm sick of it. But again, we are entering the holiday season.
Yes.
I'm preparing to spend time with family. And I think all of my anxiety about being around untreated alcoholics and Al-Anons is, it's alive. It's alive.
It's a lot. The holidays, everybody just, if everyone's super fucking edgy right now, or your patience is wearing thin, or feelings of less than or rushing are coming up, just please remind yourself, I need to remind myself of this. This time of year is just fraught with fuckery that isn't normally there, probably for many people. Just be careful of car accidents right now. Be careful of just lots of things.
Taking the
lots of
pressure off
things.
of it of the holidays needing to be like a Hallmark movie. If you were raised in an unstable household, the holidays are a super challenging time because it doesn't feel happy and it can feel lonely and it can feel
Right.
different because it's not a happy family under a Christmas tree with presents. It's,
Right.
it's darker behind the scenes. So,
Yes, it is. The holidays are fraught.
indeed,
They're fraught. Oh, so should we talk about Esophogate? That was the name of this episode, Esophogate.
I like it.
I know.
Bless you for looking at the titles
I
once
do
again.
too.
I like that one.
I love the titles. I just love the titles. And I don't like Annemarie talking about esophagus nuances. I just really
I don't
didn't
like
appreciate it.
this is again where
I
I
don't like
I
Annemarie at
hate
all.
I'm sick of her, and also my heart briefly broke for her when her husband said she's an 8.5 at everything.
Oh my fucking God.
What? That's like abusive,
Yes,
right?
it
Because my
is.
whole heart broke and I was like, I think I hate Annemarie, but she's in a relationship with someone who's mean, I think.
Yes, we'll
Nobody's
get
a
there. And
10
it
at
was
everything, but like,
no one,
don't
it's,
say 8.5. Oh my
I don't,
God.
I don't know why that would be something you would scream from the mountaintops in your confessional.
But
I
her
was
body's a
mortified.
9.5.
I
So
was,
like, God forbid that ever
I
changes.
was
Like, I don't,
so
everything
grossed
about it
out.
was,
I
it was
know.
deeply uncomfortable.
It was disgusting. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Anne Marie and
Uh,
Crystal can get on a boat and go elsewhere. I don't need them
I
anymore.
disagree with you about Crystal this year.
She's like,
Crystal is, I love Crystal, but maybe it's because I'm opining the same way she is. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm really liking her this season. At least this episode.
yes, she had one
Any
funny
hoot.
thing to say.
Yeah.
But we start with super dramatic music, like
Oh my
Batman Gotham
God.
City music, which
It
was
was crazy.
it was a lot. And we land with Kyle and Mauricio talking about the weed dinner. Kyle is explaining the speculation about their marriage unraveling and that everyone is coming at her for keeping her marriage troubles secret. Mauricio says, I hope you told them all to fuck off. And meanwhile, the tension in that room is just so unpleasant.
Fucking
Nobody's wrong.
palpable.
Yeah.
Palpable. Palpable. This is the first scene of this episode where I felt like this entire interaction was pre-orchestrated, pre-planned. Yeah, I just thought it was so scripted as fuck. And
Except for that kiss at the end. That was like
ugh.
startling and uncomfortable. And they both hated it. And it just exposed the frost that has come
Yeah,
over their
it
marriage.
did. It
Because he
did.
like held her face and you could feel her like pulling away from it. And then she tried to make a joke of like, don't kiss me like that. And he goes, I can kiss you however I want. And I was like, ah,
Ew, I grossed
this
out.
is
When he said
terrible.
that, my skin crawled. And Josh even noticed. He was like, wow, did you see her pull away from him? I was like, holy shit. Like, she's done. She is
Yeah.
closed off. But the conversation felt really scripted and contrived to me, which is one of my top 3 problems with Kyle is that she's very contrived. And whatever. I know. I'm a broken record. I don't need to keep
No,
saying it over
she's
and over again.
clearly trying to control the narrative at this point. Oh God, Evelyn, can you not, dude? I took her collar off so it won't like jingle jangle in the background, but instead she decides to dig on the couch forever.
Oh, Evelyn. Okay. She
I,
settled. That was a fast one. And she's not even sitting where she dug. That's
I know.
hilarious.
And the scene ended with that like echoey sound of Sutton going like, it seems like you're in denial about something. And then I was just like, oh my God, it's not a secret. Again, even if we didn't know that their marriage had come undone by the end of the season, that scene, that kiss alone was so uncomfortable that like,
It was so uncomfortable.
yeah.
And
Anyways. Oh,
I don't know if Kyle and Mauricio have talked about the status of their relationship, like at this point in the show, like off scene. I don't know, off camera. I don't know if they've done that. But if they haven't, this is not the first time that I've seen or heard about a husband that is just kind of doo-doo-doo, going along in their marriage, either not noticing, which is a problem, or noticing and not saying anything, which is another problem. And then all of a sudden they're like, "What?" When the spouse says, "You know what? I think I want to end this relationship." And they're just shocked. And I feel like maybe Kyle or maybe Mauricio saying things like, "I'll kiss you any way I want," is his way of channeling, like, "I know something's up, but I'm not sure what it is, so I'm gonna get extra clingy right now," instead of getting curious about what these feelings are and then asking his wife in a direct way what's going on. I
I
could
feel
be
like,
wrong, speculation is hell, I get it, but
of course, but I would speculate. I agree with what you said at the beginning. I think it's already over. I think Kyle's already moved to out of the bedroom to wherever it is that she's living now. It just feels so, yeah, there's something is very wrong between the two of
yeah,
them. So trying to have these conversations like we're on each other's side is like not, it's a hard sell.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Ay, ay, ay. Then we move to Sutton and her crew at Sutton's boutique, where they are setting up or having a pre-event meeting with their event planner. And the only thing I have to mention, I don't know if I even have anything to say about this scene. Do you?
I mean, just that Sutton said it smelled like sewage when she first walked into her super expensive store. And I felt so bad for Georgie. Was that the store manager's name?
Yes.
She
Uh-huh.
just looked like she was, I don't know, she looked like a kicked dog. Like, it looked like Sutton was blaming the sewage smell on her and Georgie looked sad about it. And yeah, this
Ay.
is the beginning of Sutton spending an hour congratulating herself for nothing. She says that, she opened her store 4 years ago, but I would be very curious to see her sales. It's not, I imagine she moves like a blouse every quarter,
Hmm.
and it's like a hobby for her. It's Santos the horse, but it's a retail store, you know?
Santos the horse, but make it a Melrose Place boutique.
Exactly. Again,
Ay.
like, I live around here. Like, I've never seen a line out the door at Sutton.
No.
I've never encountered someone at a party and said, "Oh, I love your outfit." And they go, "Sutton, I got it at nobody ever." So, like, come on, man.
Those are the kinds of stores where the hours are either by appointment only or something crazy like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, noon to 5. Just like
But
you don't know what
closed
time
from
they're
1 to
open,
2:30 for lunch. It's just,
something like that,
yes,
yeah. I look
it's
at her
not
website every
real.
once in a while to see if she has candles that I'd like and she has a lot of branded things,
Hmm.
Sutton stuff that obviously fans of hers, of which I consider myself to be one. I know,
But I've
you
never seen
know,
anyone wearing a Sutton thing. I've never entered a home that has a Sutton candle
no,
burning. I just call bullshit
yeah.
on this business and her calling herself a businesswoman when she gets more a month than most people will see in a lifetime, cash wise. I
300,000 a
mean,
month, right?
a
Is that
month,
a
a
month?
month. And
So
now
she
that her husband is leaving her and it's over, she's getting more.
oh
So,
my
like,
god.
please, with that, the end of this whole thing was just, I can't with her. And then she does her like Activia Olympic Ozempic comedy hour,
Oh, yeah.
which I can't. And then
So
Crystal, oh, sorry, go
she
ahead.
gets $3.6 million a year in alimony
Yep.
or spousal support and
Hmm.
child support. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking cash. That
Endless
is a lot of
cash.
money.
And I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's child support. I'm sure she has assets at the butt. Like, I mean, her saying that she's like a self made businesswoman
I hear
made
you.
me want to light myself on fire.
I understand that, and I could be reaching so far in what I'm about to say that I'm gonna actually sprain all of my arm muscles, but if she stood by him and raised the family and made his life easy enough that he could pursue the career he wanted and get to the place where he got in his career. I think that listen, I don't know what the going rate for spousal support is. I don't know how much this man makes in a year, but I do support women, spouses getting their due
I
funds
do too.
for,
It's
supporting
not
a
about that. It's
career.
about her claiming that she
She is
is a
self-made.
businesswoman, that she's like a boutique maven. It's just not that. I mean, again, I'm dying to see her sales. I just am so curious what
I wonder if you
actually
could Google it. I wonder if it's out there.
maybe.
I mean, if Meredith Marks can find the FEC filing for Lisa Barlow's companies,
Yeah,
anything's possible.
it's true.
Anything's
Maybe I should just
possible in
walk
this
into
world.
Sutton. And again, I live here and I'm curious about it. And all I do is watch these shows and I've never been in. I've been to Tom Tom and Sir and Schwartz and Sandy's. Like, I go to these dumb places. I went to Kyle by Aileen too, for
You
Christ's sake.
did?
It was next
Yeah.
to my former therapist's office. So I just strolled in and no one was in there
No
either.
one was in there. And
And
then
it's
Kyle
right on a
says,
busy corner
right.
in Beverly Hills.
Yes, I remember driving by. Oh my god. She's ridiculous.
Everyone's
She's ridiculous,
ridiculous.
and she had to get that dig in too, like, she closed hers because the rent is outrageous on that street, and I'm all, "Mhm, yep, okay, maybe it's because you don't" whatever, I don't need to doesn't moving on,
Moving
moving
on.
on, strike it.
So Crystal FaceTimes with Sutton, and Sutton audibly groans when she sees Crystal's face. She goes, "Oh, what's wrong?" And Crystal's like, "I'm just tired." It's so
Oh
sad.
god,
She didn't look
oh
great, but like she didn't
god.
look that bad. And then this begins Sutton's other parallel storyline of denying her excessive drinking in just, the lady doth protest too much kind of ways. Too much drama. I could lose my son. Too many
Yeah.
jokes. I need 10 drinks to do inventory today. It's just, she says she's going to shut down all of the talk about her drinking excessively, but I stand by. There wouldn't be talk if your actions didn't lend themselves to it. So nobody's crazy here when they're wondering if you put vodka in your coffee.
Oh god. Yeah, yeah, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that.
She's just martyry, victimy, and
Yeah,
getting ready to manipulate everyone. All right, so should we move on to Kyle with
yes,
her
yes.
therapist, life coach,
Yeah, yeah,
local
yeah,
Brit,
we should.
Jamie?
Yes. The therapist that said that he's known her for 20 years. Yeah, I'm just going to launch right into it. Here he says, "You're wired to be a little bit obsessive and anxious." Yes, that's true. But the fact that he is saying that without saying, and we know it comes from trauma, or we know that he makes it sound, and I could be nitpicking at this, he makes it sound like her anxiety and her obsession are independent of other things. Like, and I'm not, she could have been wired like this. What we know about her family, in my opinion, and in my experience, the obsession and the anxiety is rooted in her childhood trauma. It's rooted in her coping mechanisms. And I wish that he had said that instead of, "You're wired for this." Your childhood trauma informs the way you behave in your adulthood, and you're wired towards obsession and anxiety because of it. Does that make sense, or am I just like
No, it makes
making a
sense.
mountain? Am I?
No, I think it would have been nice to have
Yeah.
context like that. It didn't bother me because I made that assumption, but I think you're right. A lot of people who watch these shows maybe don't have experience in therapy, so don't know that. Like when I say I'm hardwired, I usually mean like the way my wires were put together by my family of origin, you know?
Right. Me too.
So, yeah,
Yes.
so I think I made an assumption there, but you're right. Not everybody would piece that together. And her family has had a huge impact on everyone in it. They're all bonkers. And at least Kyle's getting some help.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I agree. And I'm comparing this guy to my therapist, who I've known a little bit shy of 7 years, and she would have immediately gone from, "Yes, your obsession and your anxiety is rooted in it's a trauma response. It's a trauma response." That's what she would have said, like, almost immediately. And so this scene also felt produced to me. She's not wearing a lot of eye makeup that she normally wears. She's not wearing a lot of mascara, and this is Kyle during the day in the last 12 seasons. This is not a person who doesn't have a full face. And again, I understand I am being hypercritical and I'm examining her behavior under a microscope, but it just, to me, smelled of contrived. It smelled of inauthenticity. And just for him to be asking questions about, her history with Kathy, I just don't understand why he wouldn't already know this. And again, if that's what if they're painting a picture for the viewers, uh, that still is not authentic enough for me. I
But
don't
I don't
fucking
think
get
he
it.
didn't ask about Kathy. He said, "You're hardwired for anxiety. What's going on?" And then she's like, "I don't talk to my sister Kathy." And she mentioned some book
Yeah,
she wrote.
yeah.
I don't remember Kyle writing a book, but okay. She mentions American Woman and Kathy putting a legal injunction on her talking about her. And then I liked Jamie because he was completely unemotional, and I sort of appreciated that about him. And he was like, you can let them know you love them, but it can't only be on their terms. And
Yes.
shitty relationships are shitty relationships. I don't care if it's your family. Onward.
I
And I liked
I
that.
loved that. I loved that. That is, attention Alexia. Attention fucking Alexia. And anyone else on that cast of Miami that thinks that Nicole needs to be fucking accepting and loving of her father because he's her father. That is bullshit. It's
But this
bullshit
is where
here.
I sort of appreciate this scene because it's hard. It's easy to know that that's the case, but I
Yeah,
appreciate seeing Kyle struggle with how fucking hard it is to just be like, okay, so I don't talk to my sister. It's like, um, that's that's a huge
it is. It
it's a
is a big
huge
pill to
deal, and it
I
requires a lot of,
yeah,
outside support, I think.
it does, and I'm probably being flippant about it or like, "What's the big deal?" Because I have been, from one end of the spectrum to the other as far as how estranged I've been from my dad since, well, there was the period before I lived in Seattle, which was where he lived for a while, and then there was the time after I moved back to LA, and then just up until, you know, in the spring when my aunt was in the hospital and I went to LA, that's the last time we established contact and communication, and it is what it is. It's better than it's been in many years, but my point was I have a lot of estrangement under my belt, a choice I made consciously to protect my mental health, my inner child, my feelings, etc. And so I'm like, just cut him out. But yes,
But
it's
I think
I
that's what Jamie is saying.
yeah,
He's just saying it in, in his language, bad relationships are bad relationships, family or otherwise. That's it.
right, right.
And then we
I
get
just
into oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, and before she starts talking about Lorene, she's just got her like weepy voice and oh, I didn't get the Kleenex. It just fuck off.
See, I bought it because I thought she was trying to I think she needed to talk about Lorene and she warmed herself up with all this other shit cuz I don't know, but she shares that her relationship with Kathy crumbled in February and then her best friend since she was 7 years old took her own life on May 1st. And
Mm,
in this moment I give Kyle a free pass for at least a year. I just don't think
absolutely.
anyone can be asked to be themselves. Like that is a sudden, shocking, violent way to lose a friend. And it disrupts, I mean, you can't possibly feel more powerless, and who are you that, I can't imagine the degree of torment that goes along with that,
Mm-mm.
especially to lose someone who she said knows her better than anyone else, including Mauricio, the person
Mm-hmm.
she talked about her sisters with. I mean, this seems, yeah, like someone who had proven over time that she loved Kyle unconditionally. And that loss, that's where in my heart, I was just like, all right, Kyle gets a year to stop drinking, over exercise, not wear makeup. But again, talk to me in 3 scenes when I'm like, shut up, Kyle. So just in this moment, I felt real sad for her.
I did too. I did too. Yeah,
But I
I
also
did
love
too.
Jamie here because he's like, wow, that's a really hard loss. You still need what she represents to you. Like, he's not going to get into her like with the emotional stuff. He's like, all right, so you lost the person who was your safe space. And how do we replace that loss? I was like, damn, Jamie, he's on point, on task.
Yeah. Oh, and then when she says her marriage was her safe space and now it's not, that was that was gnarly. Yeah. I mean, if anyone I knew in my life, obviously, if anyone close to me was going through this, I would feel 180 degrees from the way I feel about Kyle. It's just that, again, when you watch someone for 13 seasons, just zero fucking accountability year after year and victim year after year, I am sick of it. I'm sick of it and I don't buy into it. And now she needs my compassion. She needs my compassion and my understanding. But I have not been afforded a balance from her throughout these years. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm talking about someone I don't fucking know.
But that's the whole point of these shows. I think I feel like I am a half step away from being Kyle. Like, my family is not as rich, but it's as fucked up. I have lots of friends who are sensitive people, and we reached the anniversary of Stephen Boss's suicide,
Mm,
Twitch. And
yeah.
I would never have seen that coming. Like, I feel like I could be Kyle at any minute. And so I feel like her crumbling, and to lose, she said that her marriage was what was the last remaining thing that helped her feel grounded and safe. So in a, 5-month period of time, everything's gone in these like really I mean, I can't imagine. She lost her sister on TV, her friend clearly without Kyle seeing it coming, not that anyone ever does, takes her own life, and then her husband's just like not around after Kyle lost her sister and her best friend. Like, it just feels like that feels
Uh,
lonely and scary and
Terrifying,
dark as hell.
vulnerable,
Mhm.
vulnerable. Yes. Yes. I I did appreciate, and this reminded me of probably of Al-Anon when when Jamie says, if she's expanding herself, changing herself, her behavior is changing, that it could ruffle feathers. And that is true. Often when you start to set boundaries with toxic people, or maybe not even super toxic people, it can be really hard to, as the changee and the one who's seeing the changes. It can be an adjustment.
It's huge. It disrupts the whole dynamic that everyone's familiar with.
Yeah. So,
It seems like that's what Mauricio is experiencing as he still tries to like control his love beane and kiss her
ew,
however he wants and
ew,
whatever.
ew, ew, ew.
But yeah, I like Jamie. I thought he had some, I thought he had some strong feedback. I don't know, like again, you can lead a horse to water. Erika Jane's therapist tried to explain empathy, and I'm not sure she got it. I don't know if Kyle's going to get it necessarily, but at least, I thought this guy was kind of on it. I like Jamie. I'm
Okay.
I'm on board.
I'm just not on board with Kyle. No
That's
shit.
fair.
No shit, Ramona. Okay.
And in a couple scenes, I'm not either. In this moment, I'm like, poor Kyle, you get a pass for a year. 20 minutes later, I'm like, kindly go to hell. I'm sick of
I
you.
know, right?
Hmm.
And then we have a little palate cleanser with Garcelle Jade and his girlfriend Ashlyn going to dinner. And my biggest takeaway from this is that for a 15-year-old boy to openly, and it just reminds me of Buddy the Elf and Elf when he's like, I'm in love, and I don't care who knows or something. I just love that because my experience with 15-year-old boys was that I couldn't let them know I liked them a lot. And they weren't necessarily going to be all, oh my God, I like you so much. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like he has his heart on his sleeve. And I think that it's really sweet. I liked that.
It's
That's all I
cute.
have. Yeah.
I think it's cute. I mean, I was just bored. It was just a lot of like, what temperature do you want your steak and
Right, right, right.
whatever. And, I think young love is very sweet and it's totally nuts and it borders on obsession. So I was like, you
Fair.
know, because
Very
he's on the
fair.
phone with her while she's asleep and won't hang out. Like, that's crazy. But again,
Yeah,
I
you're
would have
right.
done it too, but I didn't have
That's
the option.
nuts.
When I was a kid, our
No.
phones were plugged into the fucking wall. So I couldn't walk
Right.
around. But she seems like a sweet girl. He seems, he deserves to feel giddy and happy. And it's first love. That is a
Yeah.
huge deal.
It's Mage. It's
Yeah.
Mage. It's Mage. It was sweet, fluffy, but yes, you're right. That is full fucking obsession. And that is also, if it was to continue into his adulthood, that would be really problematic.
I mean,
Scary.
that's the hard thing is like at least for me, that first love high is so major
Yeah.
that, I tried to chase that. You can't get high the first time twice. So I was looking for that kind of love, and you don't get that more than once.
Yeah.
It's like the first time you taste the sugar. It's
Oh,
always
God.
great, but it's never
It's,
quite the same.
oh, and then we
Speaking of
go,
sugar,
right. Oh, yeah. Frosted Flakes and waffles. Then we go to Annemarie's house, and she has really bad live, love, laugh fucking artwork on the wall. In this house, we blah, blah, blah. In this house, we like Candace Owens. In this house, we don't talk about my husband's sexual assault allegations. God, I'm coming in hot today. I'm sorry. Am I? I'm not.
I
I think I'm
I
sorry because I feel bad that I'm this brash, but I fucking don't like it.
I mean, I was just bored by this scene again. Just her, t- I don't know what's wrong with Frosted Flakes. It's Frosted Flakes are fine.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
her husband enters. He enters, and it's this like disingenuous showcase of like
Exactly.
fun dad who lets the kids eat Frosted Flakes and everything in moderation. Apparently, including your wife because she's an 8.5.
What the fuck? This was a snapshot of like red flag after red flag, saying that her husband, the first night they went out, he said, "You are going to be my wife." And then he acted accordingly the whole time, that like it's something about a wife track. Disgusting. That was disgusting. He acted according. And then, yes, the 8.5 comment. I don't know that any spouse should be rating their spouse in a healthy relationship, but if you are, it better be fucking 10 out of fucking 10, unless it's about something like cooking or, you know, I don't always like the outfits my wife wears because she wears crazy ass jumpsuits. Like that, fine. You want to give me an 8.5 for my fashion? I don't give a shit. But ew,
Yeah, he talked about.
ew.
She said like as an athlete, she's an 8.5. Academically, she's an 8.5. Like and that number is so, to me, I was like, that's so controlling because it lets her know that there are tens out there. She's not that. She'll never be that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it just keeps her small and contained and controlled by him. It feels like to me.
Yes.
And to
Yes.
say her
It
body is
was
a 9.5, that's the only thing. And that's not even a 10, and her body's gonna change. Ah,
yeah. Is this what I don't know a lot about negging, but what I do know about negging is that it is a tactic used to manipulate one's partner or whoever into thinking, like it's like, "Oh god, could that be a compliment? Or is that a criticism?" That's disgusting. That is disgusting, and that does not feel fucking safe to me at all. It feels
no.
gross.
I feel like negging is more upfront. This feels more manipulative and disturbing. Eight and a
And
half.
the fact
Ugh.
that she felt that it seemed like something that she was saying with a point of pride, both the wife track bullshit and the rating bullshit. I was just disgusted. I
And
was
basically
disgusted.
saying, she was saying that women throw themselves at him all the time, but he'll turn down any 10 for her 8.5 across the board. It's just like, this is
Nope.
so sad and weird. And he's also for sure cheating, for sure not
I
faithful. Come
I
on,
mean,
man.
yeah, that I don't know, but I definitely believe the women that are coming out and saying, not even coming out, like these were just things that were uncovered. I don't know for sure, but I thought I remembered hearing or reading that the accusers, this was long time ago, and that the universities were like, "La, la, 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 la." Shocker. I know. Fucking
Yeah.
A. Do you have anything else about that scene?
No, I
I
like
don't
Frosted Flakes. That's my only
I love fucking
takeaway.
Frosted Flakes, dude. Sometimes I get a mad craving for them, and
Mhm,
I just want a fucking little bowl of frosted goddamn flakes.
mhm.
Yes, agreed. With full fat milk.
I don't even care. I'll just eat them dry.
Ooh,
I love a Frosted Flake.
dry flakes.
Yeah.
I'm really, really over the musical interludes in Beverly Hills. Stop making it try to be like Vanderpump Rules. Stop making it try to be like Selling Sunset. It's so stupid. Just give me the regular jingles. I don't know what's happening, but it takes me out and I don't like it.
They were extra distracting in this episode. There was one that sounded like a J-Lo demo,
It
and
did.
they were just all over the place. I'm like, "What
Yeah.
is this show? What are you?"
Yes.
It started with Gotham City music, then we get,
Yep.
like, a little taste of J-Lo, then later it's like lady hip hop or so I don't know what the hell was going
It
on. It
was
just
I
felt
don't like it. Stop.
incongruous, yeah.
It did. It did. It did. Like, come on. I don't ever want the Orange County music to change. I don't ever want any of the themes to change, I don't think. But yeah, the Beverly Hills one is iconic. Just stop it. It's not it's not necessary. And it's like, and who gives a shit? I'm so sorry to waste 10 or 15 seconds of everybody's life listening to me talk about the musical interludes.
They were distracting. They
Oh,
made themselves known in this episode in particular. I found it very yeah, it was a conspicuous choice, and in my opinion, it didn't work, but that's just me. It felt like Selling Sunset. The
yeah, it
scene
did.
transitions felt like Selling Sunset, and this is not Selling Sunset,
This is
so
not Selling Sunset. Thank
no,
God. Selling Sunset gets
truly.
exhausting and yeah. Anyway,
Speaking of
uh,
exhausting, Erika
exhausting.
FaceTimes her exhausting mom to announce that she landed her Las Vegas residency, and her mom is nice, saying that it's not just talent, it's perseverance. And I hate Erika, so I can't be excited about her good news, you know?
I mean, the only thing that was funny about it is the Schadenfreude that we all found out that her shows went for really low ticket prices and that the audience was empty. And I, yeah, I feel like Erica has she has some responsibility to take and she has some ownership to take and she has just some common human decency to show us for a while. And she's like, "I'm back." I'm all, "Are you though?"
You're a fraud. You're not
Yeah,
good
you're a
at what you
fraud.
do. You're not sexy. You're not talented. You're not the long suffering wife of a crook. Like you're just not anything that you
Right.
pretend. You're not on hormones. Just like,
No.
stop with everything. I'm
Which
sick of you.
oh, I mean, actually, if she is on a semaglutide, she is on a hormone. There are hormonal components
Right.
to that medication, but to say that, it's
Oprah just
just
came out this week and was like,
Oprah
"Fuck you
just
guys, I'm on Ozempic or Wegovy, and I love it, and you can eat my ass." She's like, "It's not
right.
about willpower, obviously. I've been trying to do this for decades, people."
But
So
this is on the heels of her recently saying that she was not going to take a shortcut. And I was
oh, really?
pissed off when she said that. Yes. I want to
Mm.
say it was within the last 3 months.
Well,
But
I'm
yeah,
glad she changed her
and no
tune.
one was thinking, I'm sorry, I was not thinking otherwise. When your body, when biology has programmed your body to be one way, and even if you do the things that they say to do on a diet, or you eat like an athlete or whatever thing, it is not going to work for everybody. And so I don't know why she thought that we would buy that she wasn't. And fuck people that say that it's a shortcut. Fuck people that say it's a shortcut.
All of
A,
those people will
B,
be on it in a minute.
yes.
So, like, anyone who has a problem with it is just jealous because other people have access and they don't yet. And they will all be on it and they will all lie about it if they need to. But again, to me, it's the appeal of that drug is that it removes the obsession.
It
It sounds
absolutely
like it
does.
lifts the obsession with what am I going to eat? How much am I going to eat? When am I going to eat? It just,
Yeah,
your life gets bigger because you're less focused on, will I fit in that fucking dress?
right,
Like, it's just whatever.
right.
Anyways,
No, I'm glad and also side-eyeing Oprah
I
for
didn't realize
this.
that she had said
Yes,
made a
very,
shortcut
I want to
comment.
say recently, and it was just like,
Toxic,
bitch,
Oprah.
are you
Come on.
fucking kidding me?
That's
Yeah,
like when Star Jones wouldn't admit she got gastric bypass. It was like, what what are we supposed to think it is? Like,
I
come
know,
on,
I
guys.
know.
Why lie about it? Be healthy, it's fine.
Oh, then we go on to the montage of the ladies getting ready for Sutton's event, and unfortunately, I had to hear not one, but two references to one of my least favorite fashion bigwigs, Karl fucking Lagerfeld, who was fat phobic and racist as fuck. Like, when I think of Karl Lagerfeld, those are the two words that I come up with first. And the fact that Dorit thought that she was giving Karl Lagerfeld made me laugh. She was not. And Erika talking about the hair, I don't know. I was pissed off. And I will say that, I do talk about racism and I do talk about fat phobia in my own therapy sessions. And I have ever since I was able to identify that, well, yes, yeah. And I have. I'm half Mexican and I have at times been fat. And even when I wasn't quote unquote fat, I also have had internalized fat phobia. And yeah, so I don't want to fucking hear about Coco fucking Chanel, who was a Nazi sympathizer. I don't want to fucking hear about Brigitte Bardot, who is a fucking right wing extremist, which, yes, she is, you know, a, an advocate for animals, animal rights, but that doesn't negate her her right wingness. Oh my God. I gotta fucking write this down that I gotta edit myself at 47 minutes and
You don't?
25 seconds. I'm just saying too much. And I don't want to hear about fucking Karl Lagerfeld. And I don't want to hear and see about Dolce & Gabbana. And unfortunately, when I watch these shows, like I'm going to. But just so, in case anyone was just out here thinking I'm just talking about racism and fat phobia, like they affect my life personally. And I talk about them in my own therapy. And that's why I talk about hating fucking Karl Lagerfeld when he's mentioned in a getting ready montage.
Yeah, well, the Met Ball this year
Ugh.
was like a big problem because everyone was like, "Ooh, should we really be honoring
Right?
Karl Lagerfeld?" Yeah, it
Exactly.
was a big, that was a big but
Exactly.
of course they went through with it, uh, as planned,
Oh,
but
and
still.
I bet he would have ripped on fucking Ozempic too, and then he would have ended up taking it. I know
Of
he would have.
course, everyone in the fashion
Piece of
industry, it
shit.
would be given out in gift bags, come on.
Yeah.
But before the Karl Lagerfeld, we have a Sutton
Oh,
moment.
oops.
Speaking of what we talk about in therapy, this is Sutton getting ready for her party at Sutton and just tearing through like a terrorist, saying the pearls are matronly. Avi is suggesting that she changes her shoes and she snaps at him
I
and just
know.
says, "Stop. You got to stop bossing me around. You are not my father." And that to me was my dad. So again, Sutton is my dad.
Oh, Margee,
Someone is
yeah.
trying to be helpful because they're scared of you because you're acting intense. So they're trying to help and make it better. And then you wind up on the receiving end of their like vile heat. And then she doesn't bother saying, "I'm sorry." You could tell in her eyes that she knew she came too hard at Avi, but God forbid she say like, "I'm sorry. I'm just really nervous about this night. I should never."
Right.
No. Instead, she just lets him feel like shit. He sits there with that shocked look on his face, and the alcoholic moves through her night, you know, just leaving wreckage in her wake. So
Oh my
that's what I
God.
talk about in therapy.
That was you're right. Like, as soon as the words were coming out of your mouth, my stomach fell a little bit. I'm like, "Oh, shit. This is where the veil fell." Yeah, and she was
Yeah,
just nervous, like, understandable.
a hundred
Like, "Oh my
percent.
god, I'm so nervous. Oh my god, I'm so nervous." That's what I would have been like, "I'm so nervous, I'm so nervous." But yeah. And I felt like he was coming on, like, a little too strong, like, read the room a smidge, let her put her purse down. But you're right. You're absolutely right. It doesn't excuse her behavior at all.
Yeah, Avi was a
Then
little frantic, but again, that in my experience, that's the nature of being in a relationship with an alcoholic is you
right.
can't get it right. Either you're not doing enough and you don't care enough about her night, or you're doing too much. Stop it. You're not my father. It's like, oh my God, this woman
Yeah.
is, it's not about Avi, it's about her. She can't manage her own feelings. She didn't have a drink until after her speech that night. So she's on edge. I don't know. I don't
Ooh.
know. She's my dad. I'm working on it in therapy. But
Ooh.
that's who she's become to me, which is why and it's probably again, the holidays are on my mind, so extra I'm on high alert for all of this shit.
Right. Right. We're hypervigilant. Hypervigilance. Yeah, you could see the hypervigilance in Avi's eyes,
Mhm.
which hypervigilance is definitely a coping mechanism that you employ when you're constantly monitoring someone else's fucking behavior because you don't know if what you say is going to get you backhanded or yelled at or if it's going to be a funny joke. Like, you don't fucking know how that person's going to react, and it sucks. To not know how to predict someone's behavior is a chaotic at best, terrifying at worst place to be.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sucks.
It's a safety. It's you develop that coping mechanism for your own safety. But I think the look in Avi's eyes when she snapped at him, I was like, "Oh, I know that look.
Yeah,
Oh God, it's so painful."
it stung,
And you
it
don't and he
stung.
didn't say a word after
I
that.
know,
It's just
God,
that,
that's how you know that he
oof.
knew it was, like, not like, this was
I
y
guessed wrong, I got it
mean
wrong, and
Sutton,
now she's
right.
madder. Yeah.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly, I know. Oy,
oh,
oy, oy.
Avi. Well, now
Yeah.
in non-alcoholic news, Kyle FaceTimes Morgan. But to me, this Kyle reacted to this conversation the way someone who was raised in alcoholism might. She assumes that Morgan is criticizing her or making fun of her. And to me, that's like a recognizable adult child of an alcoholic reaction to get ahead of the insult. Morgan's like, "What are you wearing?" She's like,
Ah,
"Oh, I'm not wearing this to the party. This is just robe. It's not from my collection." Morgan always makes fun of me. I'm always going to get roasted. And Morgan literally was just like,
yeah.
"What are you wearing?" And like, Kyle, to me, that's that. I was mentioning this a few episodes ago of like that conditioning of being in alcoholism, raised in alcoholism, where you try to get ahead of the insult because then you're on
Yep,
the same team as that guy. And I was
yep.
like, "Ooh, Kyle, I don't think Morgan is coming at you." I think she literally was like, "What are you wearing?" And Kyle's like, "I'm not wearing this. I'm going to wear pants because it's raining. I'm not going to wear a dress. I'm not wearing this. This is just robe."
Yeah, and
Madness.
the over-explaining, I don't know about that for you, but the over-explaining for me is definitely a coping mechanism. because if
100%.
I don't over-explain myself, you could think that I don't know what I'm doing is laughable or idiotic, or, "Oh, before you think I'm a dork, this is what's going on," or, "Before you get offended by what I said, that's what I was saying," or, "Before you get mad at me, this is where I was coming from," that over-explaining.
Yeah, trying to leave no holes so that
No
there's
fucking
no room
holes.
for assumptions or
Right,
misinterpretation. But guess
right.
what? With an alcoholic, there's always room. It's amazing
Exactly.
how creative they can be.
Yeah,
So
totally,
poor
totally.
Kyle.
I know.
And then I'm just so bored of this. This again is where, so I'm like, poor Kyle. And then immediately I turn on her and I'm like, stop trying to tell us that your marriage is not failing. She's like, everybody thinks that this is a makeup band and I'm wearing a different ring tonight. What's that going to mean? Like he has a whole family in another country, or maybe I do. I was like, Kyle, we saw that horrible kiss at the beginning of this episode. Your marriage is not great. Morgan is your new partner. Whether or not it's romantic, she's your new Mauricio. So stop it. It's not about the
Yeah,
ring. It's not about the pasta.
it's
Your
not about the
marriage
pasta.
is in shambles and that's fine. But don't try to tell us like everyone's crazy for assuming that. Everyone's crazy. Nobody's crazy. You're crazy. So I gave her a year break until this scene. And then I was like, I'm sick of you, Kyle. Stop lying to me.
I didn't even take any fucking notes for that scene, I just realized.
Again,
Because
I
I
am on
was
edge with
well,
family on the horizon. So
mhm,
I'm watching it
mhm.
all a little too closely.
No, I hear you, I hear you. I think that was it was just my she's repellent and then talking to Morgan, and I just didn't
Well,
have
and
any
you were
fucking patience for
recovering
her.
from Karl Lagerfeld.
Oh, yeah, I was. That's
I didn't,
true.
yeah, I just thought Dorit looked stupid. So
Oh, she looked stupid. Those boots were
what
hideous.
are those?
I don't
She's so
know.
dumb.
She just doesn't have the style that people thinks that she have because have she doesn't she chooses what's in front of her.
Well, no,
I
like
don't need
you,
to go off on this tangent
no,
again. I've
it's
done it
like
so
you
many
say,
times.
the clothes wear her.
Yeah, the clothes wear her.
And now we're at Sutton's fourth anniversary party, which fourth anniversary party?
I
What
know.
is actually fucking happening here? Okay. Um,
Is it because
Everyone
of COVID
arrives,
that she couldn't have
and
other
Dorit
parties?
tells us
I
that
don't
Sutton gave her a
know.
heads up
But
that
I
there would
did
be
think
80
4 was
people
weird
there,
too instead of
so she
5.
could be mentally prepared. And this is where I hated Dorit, even though I know she's traumatized, but like, I don't know. Just don't bring a bag with $10,000 cash in it, and like you're not
Yeah.
likely to get robbed again.
I I know. I know. Has Kyle already trotted Kim out in the car on the way? Did I just
Yeah, we're Garcelle was the next one to arrive, saying she's just being
Okay.
a good friend, saying she's so proud of Sutton and
Yes.
let
Yes.
Sutton, when
Yes.
she first met her, said she hadn't worked in 17 years. My
Yeah.
assumption is she hasn't worked in these last 4 years either, really. But um Garcelle's a lovely friend. She thought
She
she had
is.
nothing in common with this bitch, and now I love her. So that's cute.
Yes.
And now the
Yes,
Richard
I wrote the same
sisters.
thing. Yes. And then the Richard sisters. I just like, what do you think we're going to think, Kyle? What do you think we're going to think? Personally, I was happy to see Kim. I was happy to see her. I have a soft spot for Kim because I feel that her family has villainized her. And I don't know. I feel like she wasn't given a chance, given who her mom was. And if people want to read the book House of Hilton, I've, the word on the street is that it's a horror show. Kim Richards' childhood. Kim specifically, at the hands of her mother. So I have a very soft spot for Kim, and Kyle is just trying to prove Sutton wrong. I have a
She admits
sister.
it.
Look, she's
She admits
just
it.
so gross, dude. I wouldn't trust Kyle if I were Kim. But it's family. You want to believe that your sister is going to be there and love you. And who fucking knows?
All I know is that Kim Kim is me at a party these days. Kim says in the car, she's like, I haven't been out in a while and I sometimes bring a lot of energy to the room. And her interaction with Sutton is me at any party. When she's like, I'm sorry I'm late. And everyone's like, nobody cares. I've never been here, but I love some of the stuff I'm seeing. How have you been? And then she doesn't listen to the answer. She just looks around and then turns to Sutton and just goes, huh? I mean, and then
Yeah.
Sutton introduces her painter friend who's also named Kim. And Kim's like, I'm a painter too. Not really. You're a real painter. I just paint on the walls. I walk around with markers. Like it was just so
Oh,
intensely, I just relate so deeply to saying everything wrong, too much, too fast. Like I just really I felt Kim in this moment. I am Kim. I
it
went to some
was
parties this weekend and I was Kim.
I'm sure you weren't
I
Kim.
was. I fell off a stair. I was Kim.
Jenna Lyons fell down a big flight of stairs in front of a prolific musician, right? That's
Oh,
what she told us
oh yeah,
last
that's
year.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Or last season on New York, or one season on New York. But yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I refuse to believe it.
I no,
I
I
refuse.
fully did. It was okay. I knew going into this party, it was like a high stakes party. It's people I haven't seen in years who are kind of high profile people. And I just knew, I'm like, this is going to go poorly. So just like, don't be freaked out when it does. And I walk in and they have one of those lowered living rooms. So there's like a tiny step and immediately ate it, grabbed some guy's arm who was holding a drink that spilled. This is my entrance. And from there, I was Kim just saying all the wrong things, just being an idiot, but you gotta get the rust off somehow. I had to
Yeah.
have a bad party. And the good news is most people there, a lot of them are comedy people. So they were like, you're doing all the things that I'm feeling. So I'm glad that
Okay.
that you're
Yes.
expressing it in your body and your words, but we all feel awkward and ridiculous. So
Everyone.
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 But it's hard to be the Kim.
It is. I believe me, I can relate. I
Yeah.
can relate. Uh, I don't know. I thought the glassware was beautiful. Every single person had like this gorgeous smoky gray glass. The
Stunning.
coops is beautiful.
The
Did
flowers were gorgeous.
gorgeous. Did you
Yeah.
notice Megan King Edmonds was there?
Yes, what the fuck was that?
I think I heard about this or saw photos when it came out, when they had the party in real time on Reddit, I think. But yeah, it was weird that she was kind of blurred or she didn't get a chyron. It was just strange. So, ooh, I bet that wasn't what Megan thought. I bet she thought she would get at least a cameo. Maybe she did, but they cut it. But it was real weird.
She was
Anyway.
just, yeah, blurry and out of focus in the background during Sutton's speech, pretty much.
Hmm.
It was weird. Did I see Seth Marks there or did I make that up?
Oh, I don't know.
I must not have. I'm sure I didn't.
Maybe you did.
Someone sort of crossed into camera that looked like him, but then never reappeared. So,
It's possible.
well,
Oh.
Sutton, yeah, gives her weird, stilted speech, which
Mm,
is right on the heels of her making fun of Kim Richards for being awkward, and then immediately Sutton gives this terrible speech. She's such a
I
I don't like her.
yeah.
And then after her speech, she immediately goes to her first drink of the day. She's very sure to announce in front of Kyle that this is her first drink of the day. But boy, did she have a mission the second she put down the microphone.
She did, and you're right, it was probably why she was extra edgy when she walked in, and then she blew up on Avi. Oh, I'm
Who
getting those
knows?
creeped out feelings. You're right. You're right.
But this is where I wound up hating both Kyle and Sutton because they do this exchange that's just like codependent damage control when they each clarify their points. Kyle said, it was just one day that I thought you were drinking. And Sutton says, like, I'm sorry for saying you were, what is it? What's the word that she uses? In denial. Sutton apologizes for using that particular word. And they go back and forth about this. And I wrote, both of these women can go to hell. So
Yeah.
again, all of my
Uh,
sympathy for Kyle went right out the window. I was like, you
well,
guys suck.
yeah. And I didn't have the sympathy for Kyle really that you had. I had a little bit for her talking about her friend that passed, but she was rewriting history like a motherfucker. This is what I hate about people like Kyle. They'll say words that if there was no emotion behind them, no one would be able to say, again, on the psychic chalkboard of breaking down things, no one will be able to say, I didn't know if you had taken your medication for your feet or if you'd had a cocktail. Now, those things without any emotion behind it, fine, neutral, whatever. But the way Kyle said it is what was bullshit. We all saw through it. And if people didn't see through it last week when she was saying, I don't know if you took your foot medicine or you're fucking had 5 cocktails or 2 cocktails, that was her being super cunty, okay? I'm going to say it. Like she was being a fucking asshole last week. And then for her to come in and say, I wasn't implying anything. Bitch, you are if she's an actress, she knows about the concept of subtext. She
This is
was lying.
They both are. This is where I
Yeah.
hated them both. Because Sutton, you do have a drinking problem. It's not a rumor. Again, when you pour a pint of vodka on camera at 11 a.m., like, fuck off. Stop trying to tell us that, like, that's regular. And also, same with Kyle. Like, stop pretending like, there wasn't an edge to everything you said. Both of you guys intentionally sought to hurt each other. And now you're asking us as an audience to buy into you saying, like, I didn't mean it like that. I only meant, it's like, you're both awful. Just, ugh. And Kyle's frantic defensiveness about her rings, like Garcelle enters the conversation at some point and Kyle's like, well, I bought this for myself. Obviously, I always buy jewelry for myself. Why wouldn't you guys assume that Morrissey bought it for me as an anniversary present? Maybe it was that. Why do you always, she was just off the rails. And again, if any of these things were non-issues, they would not take up this much airtime.
Agreed. Or her friends wouldn't Google the cost of that ring. She has been doth protesting too much for the entire season so far. And so her friends are like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah. But this is
So,
where I hated everyone because I didn't like Garcelle being smug about Kyle's marriage ending. Just like, what? Why is that? This again, heading into the holidays, I'm already sick of everyone. Garcelle, who I love, in this moment, I was like, just stop being smug. Congratulations. You're right. Their marriage is over. Maybe that ring has to do with Morgan. I don't know. But like, it's all sad. It's fucking sad. And Garcelle knows that. Her marriage blew up. That was fucking sad and terrible.
yeah, and Kyle and her husband and her friend Dorit, and Dorit's toad, not a toad, fucking, what can I call him? I don't know. Uh, shit ass husband, fucking Boy George apologist husband. They all laughed at her child being told to get the fuck out of here by Erika.
This is what
So
I'm saying.
fuck
Everyone
Kyle.
sucks. Everyone sucks. In
I
this
think
moment,
that
I'm just
Garcelle doesn't
like,
suck as much as Kyle
I don't,
on the
I'm
cosmic
not,
scoreboard.
if we're ranking, I would need a minute to look that up, but
Oh,
certainly Garcelle
God.
would not be at the top of that list. I just didn't like this moment of being like, I know what's really going on. Your marriage is destroyed. It's like, great.
I
That's sad.
know.
And now Sutton confronts Dorit about Dorit calling her a drunk. And I am just, again, thinking you are giving this too much attention, Sutton. If you don't have a problem, then none of this would be a problem. But it's all you can talk about. So,
Well,
whatever.
but instead of fucking apologizing for talking shit, because this is a big, it's a big thing to levy, but she gets mad at Crystal for, for like uh, for telling Sutton what Kyle and Dorit were saying. And again, it felt like both Kyle and Dorit, Kyle earlier, Dorit right now, they were both trying to minimize what they were saying about Sutton. And I hate the bullshit and the dishonesty.
I do too. And
Hate
I
it.
hated Crystal for tattling on both of them. But I also think that neither Dorit or Kyle like took it back, you know? There there is something to this, you know? And then Annemarie gets herself in the mix saying that you can't
Ugh.
drink on the meds that Sutton takes. And then Sutton, like a great alcoholic, goes, well, my doctor says it's fine. I take it at night. Just like every reason to like, it's cool that I drink. It's fine. Just okay, Sutton. And now we're on to her small esophagus.
Oh my
This
God.
it comes up again. Yeah, Annemarie tells Sutton that a narrow esophagus is a symptom, not a diagnosis. I don't know. But this is where Sutton says, well, don't yell at me, which is her turning the focus off of her and putting it on Annemarie, as opposed to saying, listen, I've been through this with my doctor. This is what works for me. She goes like, don't yell at me. You're yelling at me. You're bad. You're bad. Look at you. I don't even know you. How dare you say anything? I don't know you. Maybe you don't know her, but she does have a degree in this shit. So like, and again,
Does she?
I mean, I'm not a nurse anesthetist. It sounds like a big deal. I hope she has a degree. The nurses who put me down for surgery, I hope they fucking know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think something might come out next episode that where I think that was part of in the scenes for next week was that does she? I don't know. Listen,
No,
I honestly don't know, and I'm not hiding shit. I don't know.
somebody said in the scenes for next week, somebody said she says she's a doctor, and I've never heard her say she's a
I
doctor.
haven't either.
So I think that's the semantics they're getting hung up on. But either way, this whole fight is just everyone is so defensive and weird. And Annemarie is just trying to like get some camera time, and I'm not a
That was
fan.
gross.
And Erika's stupid confessional about Sutton not deep throating, which is
Oh
why she
my
doesn't get the second. Like
God.
again, she deep throated an octogenarian's limp dick for 20 years. So like, please stop trying to sell me on what an like insatiable vixen you are in the sack. Like, stop it, everyone. Again, I hate everyone at this party. I cannot be on anyone's side because everyone sucks. I just am so sick of Erika Jane trying to be like, I'm so sexy. I'm like, well, if you claim you were faithful to your husband, and if that's the case, gross. Sorry. Anyways. And then Sutton is a bitch again, and she goes, "Are we good, doctor?" And Annemarie rightly notes that that was condescending, and she notes that what Sutton is saying about her diagnosis and how she treats it doesn't make sense. And then Sutton, in her classic problem drinker mode, goes, "Well, it works for me." It's like, okay. Sutton walks herself through this unbearable victim bullshit martyr hero narrative saying, it's just me now. My husband's gone. It's like he's not. He's a direct flight away. And now that he's gone, you're getting more money. And it's intolerable. I can't take it. She's like, I'm not this housewife. I'm a woman. I'm a businesswoman. No, you're not. You're absolutely not. You're subsidized. I can't. This
I
was
hear you.
really, I couldn't get happy for anyone. By the end of this party, I was just like, I was glad that the slideshow photos at the end were so poorly lit and terribly composed. I was like, I don't like any of you. And these pictures, you all look miserable and
Oh
good.
God. Yeah. 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 It was a triggering episode. I take this shit so personally on this
Same.
franchise because, again, this is the one, because of the Richard sisters, this is the one that made me want to do this podcast. So,
It's really true. And
yeah.
it does not let up. Like, I really thought
Mm-mm.
the episode that centered around a 4th anniversary about a store that like is rarely open, I did not think it would be so loaded, but every minute of it. And again, it could be the time of year. It's probably a combination of all the things, but I project all of
No,
my own bullshit onto reality
it's
TV, and it helps me see where I am unhealed.
right. And when we see behavior that is so reminiscent of our main qualifiers, it's hard and painful and sticky,
Truly.
you know? Anyway, what else did you watch this week, friend?
I was on a real Mormon kick this week. I watched Salt Lake City, I watched Sister Wives, and I watched Welcome to Plathville. I guess they're not Mormon, but they're like hyper religious. Um, so those were my. Oh, and I also watched. Did I watch Bachelor in Paradise? Did anything happen? If I watched it, I don't remember.
It was so fucking boring. This is the worst season of Bachelor in Paradise that has ever been aired. I I was in Palm Springs and I was with 3 of my besties, and I was like, "Listen, I have watched this entire season. It is the season finale. Please watch with me. It is going to be ridiculous and terrible. I understand, but it's like that sunk cost fallacy thing. I've dumped so many hours into watching this season. I gotta watch it play out." And it was a shit show. It's a shit show. None of the spoiler alert, if you have not watched Bachelor in Paradise, this is the time to fast forward about 30 seconds. None of the couples that got engaged are still together or that left together. And there were 3, and I could have seen it coming. Like, they were all just terrible. So, it was a big old wah wah.
Yeah, it was a real snooze this
Yeah,
season.
it was big old wah wah.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
started watching it, but I didn't finish because I was like, I'm so bored and I don't believe in any of these couples. I don't care
yeah,
about them, and it's weird.
it's stupid. They need a reboot badly. They need a
Yeah.
reboot
They
real
need like
bad.
golden bachelors in paradise.
That
That's what I
or,
want.
like, take everyone's don't tell anyone who's going, don't ask anybody who they wish was gonna be there, and I don't know how they could possibly monitor who's DMing who before they get there, but it's just so we can see too much of the sausage getting made. We all know
Yes.
how much the sausage is getting made. The sausage ingredients are fucking with the show and the way it works. Just reboot.
Yep.
Reboot.
What else did you watch this week?
Let's see. So, yes, Bachelor in Paradise. I can't remember if I watched Potomac from Sunday or not. I think on Sunday night when I got home, I ended up watching Miami, where Julia did the opera singing, which I thought was so brave. And then watch Salt Lake, which is I was scared that next week is the season finale. I don't think it is anymore, but I thought it was.
Oh, no,
Um,
it
the
might
last
be.
Bermuda episode I thought was the season finale, but maybe I'm wrong. I know I don't want it to end either.
Yeah.
It might be, but they didn't say next week on the season finale of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I was like hoping that maybe it wasn't the season finale because it's so fucking good. Potomac sucks this year, and at least so far to me. The fuck else did I watch? Maybe that's it. Not a lot. I
Um,
did watch the Reality Reckoning show on Hulu/ABC,
is it
and
worth
it
it?
was just, you know what? I thought Leah McSweeney had a lot of good points, but we already know how Bethany feels, and
Yeah.
it's an hour. Yeah, nothing really new. They had people from other franchises on it. They had people from, I mean, other shows. They had someone from Love Is Blind on it,
Hmm.
and yeah, they get paid nothing on those shows.
Yeah.
Same
And it
with
does
90 Day
sound
Fiancé. They
like they really get treated like shit. Like some of those Love is
like
Blind
utter
stories of
shit.
like not being able to get water. It's like, what
Yeah,
are we doing?
yeah,
This is
yeah.
terrible.
So it was terrible. So yeah, sure. While you're folding laundry or doing something, yeah, absolutely. Sure. Mhm.
And what was your antidepressant of the week?
Well, my antidepressant was my aforementioned trip to Palm Springs. It's always so fucking therapeutic to be around your nearest and dearest for a set amount of time. And I didn't think it was going to happen to me when I got back because, again, it's like a busy time of year and the Christmas tree is up, and that tends to lift my mood when I see the Christmas decorations. But I did have a little bit of wah, wah, like it's over and oh God. But then I had an in-office ketamine session yesterday, and that helped me a lot. Like I can really tell when I'm overdue, and I can really tell when I've had one. And this might seem like duh, but yesterday I realized, because, sometimes it feels like my antidepressants aren't working and I don't know why. And then I realized yesterday, as a result of the ketamine therapy, probably is that, oh, yeah, when I'm super mean and super critical of myself, even like just in my own mind, the way I talk to myself, I get fucking depressed. When I'm mean to myself, I get depressed. And I'm constantly critical and judgy of myself. And if I don't stop it, it doesn't matter how many fucking meds I take or how high the dosage is. And the good thing about taking my meds is that if I was depressed on top of the depressed I bring on when I'm not conscious of how I'm talking to myself, then I can't do anything. So the meds definitely play a huge part because I wouldn't be able to see shit without those in my experience so far. So yeah. So that was a good realization that everyone that I've paid to help me with my mental health has probably known forever. But it just kind of like, I got it yesterday. Like, it felt like it came in hot and clear and in all caps, italicized, bold. And now I understand, like, oh, you're going to get sad if you're real critical of yourself.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's it. I mean, we've built these brain pathways over decades. So
Mm-hmm.
um, it
Yep.
takes a minute to acknowledge that that's what's happened. And then to get treatment for it is what a freedom. That seems great.
Yes. Major freedom. Major
Yeah.
freedom. How about you?
My antidepressant is I was Kim Richards and I did not leave my house. I didn't paint on my walls, but during the pandemic I was a real recluse. And this is the first holiday season that I've been social again. And as I
Mm.
mentioned, one party was weird, but I'm still so glad I went. I saw people who I care about a lot and like I may not have presented perfectly, but it was still lovely to be around people. And tonight I'm going out with a group of friends. We call ourselves the steak mates because we go to
Oh,
steakhouses, but we don't eat steak. None of us eat
yes.
steak, so we eat everything else that's
Oh,
on the menu. And we've been doing it for like a year now. And tonight we're getting dressed up and doing our holiday steak mates dinner.
I
So
love that.
yeah, it makes me so
How
happy.
fun.
And
Oh, I
this,
love those. I love those
yeah.
traditions.
And
Yes.
it's just nice to like not be afraid. Like I'm aware there's a possibility I could get sick with anything going out, but I'm finally in the place where it's
Mm.
so worth it. It's really worth
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah. Agreed. I
I love
agree.
that that has adjusted in me.
I'm
That's
really
probably the
glad.
real antidepressant. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I hope you
Yeah.
guys have such a good time tonight.
We'll have a great time. We're doing a little
Have
secret
fun.
Santa. It's going to be great.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well, everyone, thank you again for listening to us talk about our triggers that come from this cast of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You can reach us at atherapeuticdose@gmail.com. Our Instagram is A Therapeutic Dose. Please rate, review, subscribe. We would appreciate that. And take really good care of yourself. Take lots of deep breaths when you're driving. Try not to rush if you can. Nothing is worth getting in an accident. I think that accidents tend to like hike up around this time of year because people are distracted and rushing. I get it. And I'm taking all of this advice too, as well as giving it. Trust me, I'm not out here trying to like not walk this talk. I need to walk this talk. Two accidents over Christmas time. One, I was rear-ended. Fuck, who cares? I don't need
No,
to.
I was rear-ended twice in 1 week at the same corner of Crescent Heights and Santa Monica. Rear-ended twice in the same lane. Like it just, there's sometimes it just when it rains it pours, but
It does. It does.
yeah, no, being aware of that is always a good idea.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, everyone take good care of yourselves and we will
Yeah,
be back to talk next week.
we will. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Ramona and Margee are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.